My name's Joseph Brayali. I'm 32 years old, and we're at the Flying Pigeon Los Angeles bike shop. I started a bike cooperative in Northeast LA called the Bike Oven in 2005, and got really into cycling as a lifestyle choice, I guess, and a lot of other things. And my older brother, around the time of the Beijing Olympics, thought, hey, maybe we could start a business selling Chinese bikes. So we imported a couple hundred roadsters from Tianjin, China, from this famous communist factory, and that was pretty much the beginning of it. So we started selling bikes in 2008 in August. We're in a really working class neighborhood, and we never ignore that. Our repair rates are very affordable, and our work here is quality. We have some good mechanics. But our bikes and our vision for cycling is a little bourgeois. It's a little bit middle class, upper middle class. And you can say it's European, and we do specialize in European city bikes. But if you travel to Bogota, Colombia, or Curitiba in Brazil, Seoul, South Korea, it's a pan-Asian, South American thing as well. And there are a lot of folks that come on these rides, like people from Mexico City that say, oh yeah, this is just like in Guadalajara, where they have the Bici Libre and a bunch of other stuff going on, or it's just like in Barcelona in Spain, where they've got a similar bike program going on. And this is where it really fits in LA, I found, okay, because in other cities, they have a tough time, especially colder cities, selling bikes that are like brightly colored. But at this shop, oh my God, it's crazy. This is the one town where like all the European bikes that are red and pink and purple sell. Because when you're in LA, it's very image conscious. And so people buying these bikes, like when you're in a car, you're visible from here up. So you got to make sure your hair and makeup are nice. When you're on a bike, oh my God, they can see everything. So now the bike, you have to have not just the bike, but your your bags, the panniers and the basket. They have to match your outfit. And you're not going to get a bike that's not going to work with your clothing and your lifestyle. So I'm not much of a fashion or a clothes horse, as you can probably tell. But we have kind of specialized in these bikes that are like for people that want to be pretty, or guys that want to look serious. You know, they want to get the bike like, I'm a lawyer and I need to look like a lawyer on a bike. I can't look like a lawyer who's got a DUI on a broken mountain bike. I've got to look like a lawyer. So, it's a very image conscious thing. And so, yeah, we sell those bikes. A guy named Michael Colville Anderson, who writes in Copenhagen, calls it bicycle culture 2.0. And bicycle culture 1.0 was around the turn of the last century. And this is something a bit different at the turn of this century, where we're kind of rediscovering the civility, that civil life that has been lost by giving everything over to the mass motoring age. And so we're very much a shop oriented in that vein. When I opened this shop, I think for commercial reasons, it would have been better to go somewhere else in town. But for my own personal reasons and because of the people and the friendships I made here, I just couldn't think of doing the shop anywhere else. I feel like we're at the beginning of a renaissance of the city, of the urban core, and Highland Park is a perfect place to do this type of shop. And we have some great geography, some great stores and retail character, and so this type of cycling fits in well with this neighborhood, which was built around the time when LA did have a lot of cyclists in the 1890s and the 1910s and 1920s. This area is oriented towards that kind of infrastructure. There was a group called Nila Bikes that organized a critical mass in the neighborhood. And of course, people growing up here, I mean, everybody in Northeast LA, it seems like they ride a bike, riding down the hills, going into the river, going on their long adventures when they're teenagers, but they kind of grow out of it because it's just kind of an auto-oriented area now because of the way the streets have changed over the years. But when that bike oven kicked off, it really turned into something of like a miniature bike community center, and it became the nexus of a lot of social activity, some local political activity. People constantly want to know, when's our next bike ride? What's going on? What are you guys doing? It's totally free of charge. You show up on a bike, and if you don't have one, we'll loan one to you for like $10. The whole point is to eat food, or to see art galleries, or to try a new brewery out that just opened up, or sample some great beer at this new place down the street. And it's very much about that, and we just happen to be doing it on bikes. And then the idea slips in that, oh yeah, we're just doing this thing, and we just happen to be doing it on bikes, and bikes are a reasonable, regular way of getting around. And it's actually a little bit more fun than everybody carpooling, which is kind of not fun. When you think about it, you've got to have 8 cars, you've got to have parking for 8 cars, everyone wants to be ready to go at the same time, and there's traffic. And when you're on a bike, you can get 30 people to go to a dim sum restaurant. The restaurant loves you because you fill 2 tables, and you get to see the city. We take them on these crazy little footbridges, look at all the architecture, show them the old LA Central Jail, which is now a theater, show them the LA River if they've never even seen it before, but they've driven over it thousands of times. It really opens up a perspective to people that never would have been looking for these things. They maybe just want to get some Chinese brunch into like, oh my God, look at this city, look at this, the urban form. And I think that's done. It did it for us personally, my brother and myself, and so it's done it for a lot of other people. And so a part of it is like a bit of an advocacy thing, though it is part of business as well. So yeah, it's a big part of our shop and a big part of what we do here.